City Transit System were united into a B division back in the 1970s because so many of their lines were by then interconnected. These views go back well before that. We look at the Queensboro Plaza complex as it was in 1948 when the BMT and the IRT each had its own half of the Queensboro Plaza station on both levels. This train has come up out of the 60th Street Tunnel and is stopping at Queensboro Plaza to discharge passengers who will then change to BMT elevated trains across the platform. The BMT subway train, as you see here, then continues down under the IRT lines and onto a tail track next to the Flushing line to reverse ends, come back into the lower level of the BMT half of Queensboro Plaza for its trip back to Manhattan. Here we are looking down at Queensboro Plaza and we see a BMT steel subway train having discharged its passengers, leaving the station to go to the tail track to reverse ends. At the upper left is an IRT Flushing line train leaving from its half of the station, and at the lower right is a BMT elevated train from Astoria coming into the BMT upper level. This BMT train from the Flushing line has come into the lower level of the station where it will receive passengers and reverse ends. Now we're on a BMT elevated train traveling on the Astoria line, which was shared at this time with IRT trains. The platforms would be cut back to allow BMT steel subway trains to serve this line in 1949. Approaching the Astoria terminal with the arch of the New York Connecting Railroad in the background. At one time, both the Astoria line and the Flushing line were served by IRT subway trains, IRT Second Avenue elevated trains, and BMT elevated shuttle trains to and from Queensboro Plaza, where they connected with the steel subway trains. This is a BMT elevated train riding back toward Queensboro Plaza, and we are heading into the upper half of the northern side, that is the BMT side of the Queensboro Plaza station. There's another train ahead of us in layup, and as seen from an adjacent building, here's a similar BMT elevated train of Q cars doing the same thing. The train is coming from the Astoria line, coming around the curve into the BMT half of the upper level of the station, where it will reverse ends and head back to Astoria. BMT subway trains come in on the track on the opposite side of the platform, discharge passengers, go to the tail track next to the Flushing line, and come in on the lower level where they pick up passengers for the return to Manhattan. There again, we're looking down on an elevated BMT train having reversed ends at Queensboro Plaza. It's now heading out, and the BMT steel subway train to the left, having discharged its passengers, is heading for the tail track where it will reverse ends and come back into the lower level of the BMT half of Queensboro Plaza station. The complex of tracks of the Queensboro Plaza area at its greatest is almost beyond description. This was rationalized in June of 1949 when the BMT half of both levels was abandoned and the BMT trains were routed into the IRT half of the station. At the left